And welcome back on Take Action News with David Shuster. And of course, on this show, we are always telling our viewers and our listeners opportunities to take action. And this week coming up, there may be no greater opportunity to take action than to join the protest against the Keystone XL pipeline, a pipeline that would bring dirty tar sands oil from Canada down to the Gulf of Mexico and out across the world, being what one NASA scientist, Jim Hansen, has called game over for climate change. That protest will take place at an Obama fundraiser this week in Washington, D.C. Joining me now to discuss that protest, which is expected to draw thousands, is Becky Bond, the Vice President and Political Director for Credo Mobile. Credo Mobile is an organization with 3 million members. It's also a mobile phone company that uses its profits to fund progressive causes and mobilize activists. Becky, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, it's great to be on the show with you. Thanks for having me, Daniel.
Becky, tell us a little bit about the event this week and how you were hoping to influence President Obama on the issue of the Keystone pipeline.
So this week, and this is actually on our side of the country, I'm calling you from San Francisco, California, though I listen to your show online, so I'm very excited to be on. The president is actually leaving Washington, D.C., and he's coming out to the West Coast to raise money for the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, the DCCC, which tries to re-elect Democrats in Congress. And he's going to be visiting San Francisco, raising money, and we're going to be here to greet him, to make sure that he understands that once you get away from the oil lobbyists in Washington, D.C., that the vast majority of Americans want him to do something real about climate change and reject the Keystone XL pipeline, which would bring dirty Canadian tar sands oil across the United States to the Gulf of Mexico, where it would then be refined and shipped to China and burned, which could spell game over for the climate. We expect to have over 1,000 people outside a major fundraiser where the president will be speaking and helping to raise money, and we know that money talks, and that the people inside that room will get to talk to him, and there'll be many Democratic donors who care deeply about climate change who will be delivering a message to reject Keystone XL. But then for the rest of us who have to speak a little bit louder because we're not handing out $32,000 checks, we're going to be on the outside. Thousands of us with signs urging him to reject the Keystone XL pipeline, and also we'll be having a brass band just to make sure in case our voices aren't loud enough.
That sounds like a lot of fun, actually. And, of course, all of our listeners and our activists on the West Coast can mobilize and go out there to San Francisco to that fundraiser. Where can they go to find out the information, all that information that they need to participate and take action? And if they can't make it to the event, what should they do? Is there going to be a special hashtag they can tweet? Is there some calls that they can make?
Oh, that's a great question. So at credoaction.org, one thing you can do is you can sign our Pledge of Resistance to the Keystone XL pipeline. So just go to credoaction.org, and then we'll send you all the information about the protest. It's going to be on Wednesday in San Francisco, and you can find out about it. You can find out about it at the Credo Action website, or also on the Credo, the Facebook.com/Credo webpage. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be gathering where this protest is happening on Wednesday. But you can tweet with the #NoKXL hashtag. But the real deal is that we're going to give him a big welcome when the president comes to San Francisco. But it's not just this event. Everywhere President Obama goes, he's going to be greeted by regular folks, the people that voted for him, the people that volunteered for him, the people that gave him the small dollar contributions in order to get elected. And we're going to greet him everywhere he goes to make sure that he really understands that the Keystone XL pipeline, this is not something he can approve as a giveaway to the big corporations and the oil industry lobbyists, and then maybe do a couple of other things over here to for the environmental special interests. This is fundamentally not something that can be traded among special interest lobbying in Washington D.C. This is something fundamental. he said in his inauguration speech that he was going to do something real on climate, take real action. And this is the first decision that is his and his alone on Keystone XL. So we need people to call the White House to get through to him, but we also need people to show up every time he makes a public appearance to let him know. We have to do a lot to break through the bubble in Washington, D.C. As your Washington, D.C. Listeners know, that there is a conventional wisdom in Washington, D.C. Where money really talks, but in the rest of the country, he needs to know that there is massive resistance to this pipeline. I mean, this pipeline, it's even the government's own report said that the pipeline itself would generate only 35 permanent jobs. 35 permanent jobs. And for that, we're going to run a dirty pipeline across our entire country and then ship that oil. It's not even going to contribute to energy independence because that oil is going to be exported to China and then burnt as a cheap, dirty fuel to help fuel their economic growth. So this is a bad deal. It's bad for the president politically, and we need every voice out there telling him from every direction that he should not approve this dirty pipeline, that this is bad politics, it's bad for the planet, and it's something where, where people, they want to see their president do something that he said he was going to do, and he has said, time and time again, you have to make me do things, and this is something that we're prepared to make him do.